Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Cool Spot for Genesis/Mega Drive. We are on the 5th level, and we're in this toy store-like setting, and I accidentally walked into some spikes. A lot of enemies to deal with here: chattering teeth, green slime balls that split into several smaller balls that go everywhere, just go up and then drop straight down, that you can destroy as well. I consider the robots to be probably the worst enemy here, because they're basically like the mice in pajamas from the 3rd level, except they can move back and forth. So I kind of tend to stay in one spot and just always face them and always shoot at them and their projectiles. And there's some desperately needed health right there. You're going to be looking around this place quite a lot as you look through this very 80s, very 90s looking background here of what is basically a toy store. Be sure to look behind shoes, behind boxes, behind stacks of what looks like 7-Up bottle caps. I want to think that's what those little stacks of gray things are. Just look behind stuff whenever you can. You'll definitely find whatever it is that you need to find. I wonder if the dimes that you see are in the European version of this game. I can imagine European players having seen that if it was, and be like, I know that's a coin, but what is that? Also, maybe those stacks of gray things really are coins now that I think about it. Huh. And you definitely want to check the stacks of coins as well, because you can find spots over there. You'll be finding a lot of spots. And of course you'll be dealing with the UFO platforms here as well, though not as numerous as they were before. And of course you'll also be dealing with a lot of toy-related obstacles and platforms. You got fire trucks, you got cars stacked on top of each other, you have dice that always happen to have the number 4 always facing towards the player. It's really nice. I actually kind of like these details. I like that they got a little creative there, Version Games, or whoever it was that developed it. Oh, and I forgot about the race cars as well. As I stand here waiting for the flask of 7-Up to rise up, because that's what they do if you leave them on screen for too long when you get them from an enemy. Those things just move around back and forth, and inside of those boxes that I just went into, you can find another flask of 7-Up in case one didn't show up there. I usually grab them anyway just for the points. Also, this is yet another level where you'll be spending a lot of time here, to the point that you may lose one of your lives if you spend too long here. I know I did. Kinda like in level 3. I can never get through this place without losing at least one life due to time over. And there's yet another flask of 7-Up. This is probably the one level that has more health replenishments that I've ever seen. You just gotta look for them. That's all. And I'm going to use this bubble here to get over here. There's something behind that shoe, which gave me quite a lot of points and a little bit of coolness. And there's a 1-Up if you drop down there. I definitely welcome that. And now it's time to get over here. We can finally trigger one of the checkpoints. Never a lot of checkpoints around here when you need them, or in any level for that matter. I do look around a little bit to see if there's anything else I can get, and I decided to go here in the meantime to see what I could get. Definitely some more enemies here. Definitely some more spots that I'm going to try to pick up. And you definitely want to drop down here, because you can find some spots as well as some other stuff. You want to leap up somewhere in the middle so you can get out. And actually get out for good and find another spot. And I keep managing to... Oh, that's what I keep finding. I keep finding clocks. That's what that sound is. I keep forgetting what that is. And I should know what it is because I keep hearing that sound in the bonus stages. Usually. At least once or twice. And I finally make it to this fire engine, which I've been seeing for a little while. Managed to collect 2 health replenishments. Don't know why they're placed so close together. And when you reach this shoe, don't go in through the shoe. You want to keep shooting to the left here, so that way you can take care of all the enemies. There's like a chattering teeth and a robot behind that shoe, and then there's another robot soon after. So you want to make sure you destroy all the enemies here before you explore behind that shoe. Really starting to like the level so far. The music here is actually pretty chill for the most part. I actually do like it. And we're now up here on this little remote control truck. That's not exactly a fire truck by any means. And that ball. Oh boy, that ball. You can't destroy it. All you can do is avoid it. It's the only one you'll see in the game. Not the game, but the stage. And you can't kill it. All you can do is just stay away from it and move on and get to wherever it is you need to go. Also, the shoelaces here that are crossed together, they make for the ladders in this stage. So you won't be able to tell right away. You won't be able to see them until like halfway through the level, maybe. And I managed to find some spots there, which is pretty nice behind that box. Got some bees that are hanging up down here, I guess. Those are some good places to find spots in case you ever need them. Pretty easy to find spots and get at least 85% cool rating, even 90 plus, if you know where to look. And trust me, you'll be looking everywhere for these things as you go through this toy store stage. And of course there's plenty of attacks that act as spikes. You probably already know that just from watching me play this level. And I actually have my misgivings as to whether or not I can make this ledge without getting hit. Thankfully I can, thanks to the shoelace ladder. But I go over here first because there are things that want me dead. So I actually do like the stages that are in this game so far. They are all pretty unique. They all have their own individual music, their own individual mood. As 90s-ish as they are. I can imagine that a lot of kids growing up to this game and being like, hey, this isn't half bad. There's a toy store, there's a waiting pool, there's a beach. I do like the variation in the stages. And I'm shooting down a lot of robots here. And I'm running low on time, but I don't notice this until, again, I hear that sound. And at this point I'm like, it can't be helped. I'm gonna lose a life here. I'm just gonna go straight to another checkpoint, the last one I touched. And then I'll just continue from there. Because, you know, that sometimes is how it is when you go through these stages, which are pretty expansive. Just to get as much coolness on the cool meter as you can. At least you start with 8 minutes in this stage, which is more than enough time to get through the stage. Probably not as much time to look everywhere for cool points. And I noticed that that flask of 7-Up popped up, and I went ahead and went for it. And I didn't see this part in the practice run, so I do a little bit of exploring as much as I could. Made it to at least 90% cool. And I know that behind that big stack of boxes there is where the exit is going to be. That's where the cage is going to be, upper right hand corner. Something we're probably used to with these expansive maze-like stages by now. I do go over here to the shoe there to pick up some extra spots. Then I go up here to fight the robot, see if there's anything else. Thankfully there is. There isn't anything else. So I just shoot the lock on the cage, and then that is that. And we're out of the toy store. For now. We'll be seeing it again. You'll know when. We might as well go ahead and get that one up. Now it's time to go for the bonus level. I found out that the bonus levels are pretty much considered completed when you find the letters in them. If you don't find a letter in it, you actually get to do that bonus level again when you manage to get cool enough to make it to the bonus level. And of course, there's plenty of mines in this, what seems like a clone of the very first bonus level. There are mines here, and you want to get to the upper left-hand corner as soon as you possibly can while hitting as few mines in the process. It just kind of feels easier said than done, given what's going on here, but I eventually pull it off. Because once I get that O there, I managed to get basically everything I needed to do done. By the way, there is a 7-Up icon in the pretty much in the left side at the bottom of the bonus area here. And if you're going for all of this coolness here, all the spots, all the things you need to pick up to get the 100% coolness in case you do want the extra life from this place, you're better off saving that for last. Just remember you have to pick it up and you'll be good. Of course, I'm doing pretty well on lives already. I'll still try to stay alive as long as I can, just to get extra points. And I unintentionally land on the mine, and that pretty much ends my time in the bonus area here. But we have the word Uncola 2/3 of the way complete. And I noticed that the 1-Up logo doesn't spin, it just goes back and forth. Huh. Anyway, it's time for Radical Rails, the 6th level in Cool Spot. There are no enemies here. You just gotta get to 60%, and you're gonna be fighting a whole bunch of slopes. Pay attention to what you're doing as you're jumping against the slopes here, trying to get as much coolness as you can. You have 6 minutes to get through here. I don't think you can find a lot of time to refill your timer with. But if you're quick and you know where you're going, that's more than enough time to get at least 85%. I know I aimed for at least that. What's really funny is that I actually do manage to pull that off. And I got the 5th bonus level, but I never got into the practice run because I didn't know how to get through the 5th, not the 5th one, but the 4th one. So, when you see me play the 5th bonus level, it's actually a blind run. Like I said, I just started playing this a few days ago. I do play the levels in advance, just so I can get a good idea of how to show them off and not look too terribly noob-ish. But at the same time, I actually do want to get through these stages as well as I possibly can. And for somebody who hasn't been playing the game that long, I'm not doing that bad, to be honest. And of course I took a really weird fall right there, as I try to look for as many spots as possible. And you want to look for those sparkles up there at the top at the start, because that's a 7-Up icon. You definitely don't want to miss that. And thankfully I managed to land right up there, so I can get down here. If I can. Thankfully that wasn't the case there, sadly. But at least I'm at 50% coolness now. That's the thing. And if you can somehow make it to the bottom, pay attention to where you're going, I say as I hit my mic. Thankfully there is no conveyor belt here. But there are some spots that are easy to get if you know what to do. Gotta jump pretty low when you get on this bubble as you head to the right there, so that way you can get all these spots. And of course, I actually go through the little pipes that suck me straight up to whatever it is that they lead, so that way I can find more pathways that leads to more spots that I may have missed. This stage can go pretty fast. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to be missing some spots along the way. Thankfully, I managed to notice that spot, and I start gunning for these. And I start looking around a little more. I also go in this direction to see if I missed anything. And looking down there, almost in the lower center there, I did notice that I did miss a spot, so I go ahead and go over there. And then I make my way back to the cage, and then try to make my way back to the bottom of the stage again. And of course, I managed to find another spot right there. So now I go try to see if I can actually get somewhere for real this time. And I'm actually gonna find some spots as I make my way to the left. And of course, I'm basically fighting against the slopes here just to get all these spots, because apparently I missed this path altogether. And this time, I'm able to get over there. So now I try to make my way back to the bottom of the stage, happen to come across those spots, and I'm pretty much almost down there. I see if I can make my way further to the left as I try to make my way back to the bottom, because I actually want those spots right there. And thankfully I managed to do just that. So now that we're down over here where these two slopes converge, it's time to get in the bubble and see if we can't get the last of these spots. There are a few that I missed, but at 96% I'm pretty much proud of my progress. It's time to hit the cage. So it's time to use these little tubes here to get all the way up here. I thought I'd be under the cage, but you know what? I'm up here. I might as well try to see if I can aim for this block, and thankfully I managed to do so. And of course I managed to be cool enough to grab that one up, and good, and head to the 5th bonus level. That's what I get for trying to say 2 verbs at the same time. Definitely want to get the spots at the very bottom here. And I actually do go for some spots here. And lose one of my hit points getting through all those mines, so that way I don't have to deal with them in case I ever go down here again. Which is always a good thing. And now it's time to make our way to the top. There's a 1-up there. Not a 1-up, but a 7-up icon. I actually avoid that, because I want to get to the top there before I reach a complete lack of hit points, and I can't get the letter. Now this wall of mines here, you want to position yourself correctly, because that's where the L is. And I notice that I'm running out of time, so I drop down here, get the 1-up, not the 1-up, but the clock. I can't even tell what I'm grabbing anymore. And then I head back to the wall of mines. And this time I properly center myself so I can get the L, 2 7-up icons, and I get time over again. I actually don't die this time around. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself for doing as well as I did, considering that this was the first time I was ever in this bonus area. And I try to grab as many spots as I can before the screen goes black and Spot kills that clock. Now we have 5 of the letters. Very happy with my progress there. Managed to hit 225,000 points, which gives me another 1-up, despite not being able to grab the one for 100% coolness. And the next area is wound up. But we'll tackle that in the next video. So join me next time where I take on stages 7 and 8. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe. Thanks for watching!